Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. Hope this one uploads properly. God willing and Godspeed in the name of God, and if God's good, hopefully all my videos will upload properly now, because so many of them seem to have not uploaded properly. So I don't know if it's because of my internet connection or because of YouTube. It seems to be cutting out. Even when I looked at it, it seemed to say like the video was nearly 10 minutes long, and then when I clicked on it, it was like 3 or 4 minutes long. So I don't know why. I don't know if YouTube are chopping videos up or whatever, but anyway, sorry if I sound like I'm ranting. I probably am kind of a bit frustrated about that. Well, I am a bit frustrated, but I'll try not to rant, and I'll try and keep this video positive. But when I upload videos, I always want them to upload properly. Anyway, so as I mentioned before in the first take of this, because I had to do take 2 because it wouldn't upload properly, as I say, hope you're well wherever you are. And I suppose part of me was thinking I'd have to start the whole video again, but I don't want to repeat too many ideas. But yeah, works could mean 2 things. One, sorry for repeating myself again, but again, that last video didn't upload itself properly, so sorry if I repeat a lot of the points I'll say. I know I have that bad habit anyway, but my excuse is it didn't upload properly, or my reason even. But yeah, works, by works, I mean it could either mean things I write up, or it can mean things I hope to work on, more so the former in this case. Anywho, yeah, when I say works, I generally mean things I write up in my creative works, and how I'd love to have like my own creative rooms, which I could have if like they were empty rooms that the council, local council where I live or whatever, could give me to go and write or stuff like that if I had permission. Although possibly a lot of people wouldn't want to give a room away for free to like write in, but I suppose if I agreed to share their literature for each thing I get to write or something like that, then maybe I could tempt them. Perhaps I'll try and think of a way. As ever, I'd love to hear your feedback, constructive criticism, positive points of view, hopefully, and any ideas or suggestions you have. Anyway, I'm going to try and stop waffling, and here goes. So number 11, I hope to think about things I hope to change, such as repeat myself perhaps, and I'd love to improve my punctuation, but I really do struggle with that. Handwriting, I suppose I'm used to having bad handwriting. It doesn't look bad to me, but other people tell me it's quite bad. But yeah, I do hope to look into ways I can improve my communication style, my writing and things like that. So as ever, I'd love to hear suggestions or read suggestions, but being a creature of habit, it will be hard to change, but I'll do my best. I normally do try and improve my punctuation, but it's like, as I say, I'm a creature of habit and I do struggle to change. Number 12, I hope to look at what I do well and continue to do that as well, and also, as I say, continue to develop myself and learn things that I'm hopefully going to use, positive things like how to communicate better and how to plan my ideas better and things like that. And I'd love to find mentors, possibly even role models, or think of role models perhaps. I suppose there are quite a few dyslexic role models, or mixed race role models, or even olive skin role models, if I dare say that. That's a bit of a controversial one, but anyway, I suppose everything could be controversial nowadays. But yeah, and maybe in the future I could be a mentor even, or if not at least a role model for other people, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds, such as those with learning disabilities or mixed race people, or even olive skin people. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Number 13, I do have this really bad habit of wanting to keep paid works and hoarding things, and wanting to have writings like literally everywhere, as wide and high as the world. And in the past, when I used to collect notebooks, I used to buy, before I finished one, I used to buy more. And yeah, it's one of my bad habits, I say. And also not really focus on writing the ones I've already got, or focus on writing up one story at a time, or things like that. So but yeah, so I'm just trying to think. My train of thought, something else I was going to say, but I forgot. Yeah, I used to collect notebooks, and also, yeah, I used to put them in place, like just leave them on the floor and stuff like that. So I'm hoarding like I left quite a mess, or I do leave quite a mess, unfortunately. It's another thing I can improve on perhaps. But instead of like putting them in neat sections and putting them in organized sections, so I know where things are. And if I could start again, so to speak, I would do that. I would like put them in different sections, so certain ideas that mean something to me, maybe color coordinate them or things like that. I know I have some controversial color coordinating as well, but anyway, I'll get to that possibly later. I hope to explain these ideas in further detail in the future. Number 14, a solution to that is to like do things that keep me busy. So I only work on one notebook at a time, perhaps maybe 2 at the most. I know I like to multitask a bit, which is a bit of a weakness. I think focusing on things is pretty cool. But yeah, hope maybe not buy any more notebooks until I've finished certain amounts. Make sure I keep myself occupied. As they say, the devil makes work for those with either thumbs. idle thumbs, sorry, and also like only have things where I have permission to have them. In the past, because of my secretive nature, like I have secretive ideas, I tried to, and I wanted to be like, I thought I was being clever, so to speak, by bringing in more notebooks and seeing if my mum or my brother or other people would notice when they were working or doing other stuff. So yeah, I like to have that like mischievous nature, but it sort of got me in trouble. And also when my mum threw things away or gave, even if she gave stuff to charity, even though it was going to charity, which was a certain use, another, at least it was being made use of rather than being thrown away or even put in recycling. At least that, even if it's put in recycling, you could say it's been put to good use. But I like to write in a certain way, which on another note is how I also hope to promote or talk about the M.K.S writing style that I use. Sorry, my stomach was rumbling there or something. Don't know what that was. Anyway, but yeah, so that could be like, again, only have what I have, only keep notes where I have permission to keep, even if they're secretive notes, at least have permission so I don't encroach on other people's territory, just so I don't like them to encroach on my territory. But yeah, have permission, prior permission, stuff like that. One prayer I would have though is if anyone tried to touch my notebooks without my prior permission, I would hope God would find a way to stop them in the most ethical or humane way, not to cause too much suffering. Anyway, moving on. Number 15, I mentioned how I like to keep so many notebooks and try and work on so many different things, like 30-point lists and so many ideas, and take on too much, and how I take too much on at the same time and things like that. But ironically, a bit opposite to this is like I like to focus on 5 sort of key areas. 1, the benefit of Italian football. 2, benefiting Celtic FC. 3, benefiting my political ideas, including libertarianism. 4, benefiting former colonies, which also sort of is political as well. So that's sort of 2 points in one. And 5, supporting poor and disadvantaged people around the world. Number 16, yeah, and hopefully I'll have organizational systems that would help me to organize my paperworks and things like that. Number 16, I'd love to hear other people's ideas about what are the best ways, what are the best uses to make of things so that they're used to their full potential, like how those things could be, anything in the world could be used to benefit society so it doesn't go to waste, which is why I'm a hoarder, because I can't stand waste. I don't like to hate anything, but I can't stand waste. It borders hate perhaps, but yeah, so when I see other people, they see me as hoarding, but which is true, but I see them as like sort of perhaps being wasteful. But yeah, I always try and make use of things if I can, but I'd love to hear suggestions of how to make the best possible use of things and things like that. So that's one big question I would love to ask, like what are the best uses of all possible things? And also like, yeah, how to recycle, plant more trees and look after nature and things like that. I often talk about as well about the paperless office, which I hope to talk about, but which I forgot to mention in part 1, which is quite an irony because of how I love to keep so many papers. But anything that's online, instead of printing it off, people could perhaps share that online, and maybe it could be everything that's online could stay online, therefore you don't have to print it, which sort of makes up for me hoarding things, perhaps. Maybe not, but it kind of goes some way towards doing so, perhaps. Double question mark that one. Number 17, just in case you didn't think I was mad enough, I would love to create a social enterprise in a way which is run by people from what I call the Six altogether, which is what I want all my projects to be ran by. And I don't plan to make any personal money myself. I just plan to gain from a good feeling of helping others, and also having the credit of being the one who came up with the idea, but also having a good feeling of helping others. But I hope they'll benefit from it financially. But I dream they'll sell things to the world's billionaires somehow. And like, I'd love to like meet the world's billionaires. That's one of my dreams, like as many billionaires as I can, to encourage them to invest in Italian football and Celtic, and also developing countries and things like that, and discuss like what their goals or dreams are as potential customers, maybe if I'm really dreaming. And yeah, on my mad dreams, I would love to like, I suppose part of me does think, why would they even buy those notebooks, especially with my poor handwriting and punctuation? It would be quite ironic, perhaps. But yeah, I hope to talk about how the ideas came about and things like that in the future as well. But I dream, like I say, for what I call the Six, people from what I call the Six, to run an enterprise that sells to the world's billionaires. But I hope to come to that in more details in the future in M.K.S initial auctions / signature sales. Number 18, Again, I hope to discuss ways my writings and works and plans can make the world a better place, looking at the nature, the environment, and things like that. Number 19, I hope to help females of all ages, women and girls, in politics, business, tech, and STEM generally, again, especially from what I call the six, from developing countries and so-called disadvantaged backgrounds, generally like people with disabilities, people from poorer backgrounds, even in places like the UK or the US or European countries, and that sort of thing. And number 20, I hope to look into how the elders or older people can teach the youngest what sort of things they could teach, and again, help young people to set up their own businesses in, again, what I call the six, including indigenous people from across the Americas, not just America itself, but like Brazil, Peru, Paraguay, Uruguay, and that sort of thing. I also hope to learn about their cultures and communities. And I'm out. Peace and out.